I already knew by then he must have caught something. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Vanessa. As you guys can obviously tell by the title, today I'm going to be talking about the coronavirus going on here in New York City. This video might be long. I will be leaving timestamps in the comment section down below. If you guys want to skip any of these parts, you guys can do so. I will be talking about a lot of different things. As a disclaimer, no, I'm not a professional. I just simply got all of my information from multiple websites. I'll link all of the websites in the description box if you guys want to go ahead and read it for yourselves. So without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to be letting you guys know my experience and how everything has changed so quickly in just 2 weeks and a half. I have everything written down in front of me in my book. So if you guys are wondering why I'm constantly looking down, it's because I'm reading off my notes. On March 1st was our first case confirmed in New York City. On the 5th, we had 4 confirmed in New York City and 13 statewide. On the 8th, I went out with my friend to go eat at a Italian restaurant. I was still taking the precautions necessary. I wasn't touching my face. I was constantly using hand sanitizer. When I got home, I found out that the governor was urging New Yorkers not to get into packed trains and just to wait for the next train, hoping that it wasn't packed. I found that really dumb for him to say just because the MTA sucks. There is always issues with the train. You always have to wait for a long time for the next train to arrive. So there is no way that New Yorkers were going to avoid packed trains, and a lot of us are always in a rush, so nobody is willing to wait for another train. On the 9th, we had 16 confirmed in New York City, and I also went to school. My professors who are already speaking about doing the materials online, that they had a feeling that at some point schools were going to close, but the governor didn't mention anything about closing school anytime soon, so they still wanted to be prepared just in case. After I left from school, I always need to take 2 different trains. When I got off the 7th train, the platform was completely packed. There was way too many people. Everybody was just on top of each other, and when I went upstairs to take the 2 train, I checked to see how long my train was going to come, and it was coming in 18 minutes. 18 minutes is way too long for you to wait, especially during rush hour. I was waiting in Times Square, and Times Square is one of the busiest places in New York City. When the train came, the carts were completely full. People were just right on top of each other, shoulder to shoulder. You have no personal space. I didn't want to wait for the next train, so I just decided to get on a train. At this point, I was a little paranoid because I already knew what was going on with the coronavirus, and I already knew that just about anybody can have it. I'm only 5'1", so I'm super short. The people that were surrounding me were all tall, so they were just breathing right on top of me. When that happened the day before, that's when the governor said that you should avoid packed trains. But how can we avoid it when it takes 18 minutes for a train to arrive at Times Square, one of the busiest stations, during rush hour? I also noticed that nobody was wearing gloves or face masks. Nobody was using hand sanitizers. I actually saw a guy holding onto the pole, and then he just scratched his nose. I already knew by then he must have caught something. On the 11th, we already had 48 confirmed, and there was 212 confirmed statewide. I went to school again on this day thinking that it was another normal day. When I got home, I find out that all CUNY and SUNY colleges were closed. They found out that there was a confirmed case in one of the schools, John Jay. On the 12th, we already had 95 confirmed, and 42 of those were reported in 24 hours. Bill de Blasio also declares a state of emergency, and he banned gatherings of 500 people or more. After he declared New York a state of emergency, Miguel and I were both talking, and we both decided to go to BJ's just to do all of our food shopping ahead of time, just to avoid big crowds. So I called my parents and I told them what was going on, and they also agreed. So we all went food shopping. We went to 3 different locations. One of them was the Yetro, where a lot of business owners go to go buy their items to sell. We bought a few things over there. We were going to buy Bounty and toilet paper there, but my mom told me not to. She said to wait until we got to BJ's, so I just agreed with her and we went straight to BJ's. As soon as we got out of the car, a guy came up to us and he asked us if we were going to BJ's, and we told him yes. He said, good luck. The line is very, very long. It's a 3-hour wait. The place is completely packed. We were looking for shopping carts and there were no shopping carts to be found. People were following other people to their cars to grab the shopping carts after it was emptied out. We decided to give up and we went to a different BJ's. The second BJ's that we went to, it was the exact same situation. There was no parking. My dad had difficulty finding parking and we still had difficulty trying to find for a shopping cart. When we finally found a shopping cart, one of the employees gave us a sanitizing wipe, and we sanitized the cart, and then from there we went straight into BJ's, and the line was really long. The line was going all around the entire store, and the store is huge. We went in and we were already grabbing all of the stuff that we needed, and I was looking for the toilet paper and for the Bounty, and I couldn't find it anywhere until I noticed that there was a sign and it said that there was no more Bounty and no more toilet paper. I didn't record anything just because I was so focused on getting everything that we needed. While we were waiting on the line to check out, I noticed that there was a woman who was wearing gloves. I noticed that she started touching her face, which completely just defeated the purpose of her wearing gloves. She might as well not have even worn the gloves. The following day, on the 13th, my dad decided to go back to the Yatro to get the Bounty and to get the toilet paper. When he went in there, he said the place was completely packed. When the day before it was empty, he was looking for the toilet paper, and even the toilet papers ran out. There was no toilet paper to be found. The only thing that was left were the low quality toilet paper, so that was the only thing that we were able to get. And then on the 14th, we had 269 confirmed in New York City, 613 confirmed in the state, and 2 deaths confirmed in New York City. At this point, public schools were still not closed for children. A lot of teachers were demanding to close down the public schools just because a lot of the students could get the virus and they can go home and they can give it to their parents or their grandparents, but the governor still didn't want to close down the schools, which I found a little dumb. But on the 16th, we already had over 700 confirmed statewide and 329 in New York City, 5 deaths, and finally the governor decided to close down the schools. Everyone is doing online school now. I'm doing online schooling, so is my little brother, my little sister. They also decided to keep the schools open just for students to be able to go there and pick up lunch if they needed to. It was also announced that all restaurants, bars, nightclubs, and movie theaters were to be closed. The only thing that was available was just takeout. On the 17th, we already had 814 confirmed in New York City, 1,374 New York State, and 13 deaths, and that's not including all of the people that were not tested. Also announced that there might be a shelter in place, which to me just basically sounds like quarantine, and I feel like they should already have done that by now, but they have their reasons why they decided not to, which I feel like aren't good reasons. Today, the 19th, I just found out that we are already at 2,469 confirmed in New York City, 4,152 statewide, and we already have 21 deaths. It's crazy to realize how everything has changed so quickly in just 2 weeks and a half. I am a little worried just because New York City is one of the most populated places. The population of New York City at the moment is 8.5 million people, and we are the US most populated city, and on top of that, we are the most expensive city. A lot of us are worried about how we're gonna pay our rent when we no longer have jobs. We should freeze the rent now. A lot of us can't afford to pay the rent at the moment. I actually had my landlord call me, making sure that we were still going to pay our rent. My battery's charged, and I just found out that in the website it says New York City had 3,615 confirmed cases of the coronavirus and 22 deaths, city officials said on Thursday afternoon. That is up from 2,009 cases and 11 deaths as of Wednesday evening. I'm almost done editing this video. I should have it up in a couple of hours, but I just wanted to update you guys. Right now it is 1 o'clock in the morning on the 21st, and I just found out that we now have 5,151 confirmed cases here in New York City, and we are now the epicenter of this crisis. It's crazy how the numbers had increased so quickly. I also found out yesterday that a lot of celebrities and a lot of athletes have already done the tests to make sure that they don't have the coronavirus, and I thought that was just insane because a lot of the healthcare workers haven't even been tested yet. But honestly, it's not that surprising just because people with money have more power. They're like the top priority. Miguel is gonna join me right now, and he's gonna tell you guys his experience. He works in a restaurant in Times Square, and he just recently stopped working just because they closed the restaurant. He's already here, so he's gonna tell you guys his experience on how everything was in Times Square. So
when they first announced the state of emergency, it felt like it was just another regular day. We still had Saturdays, Sundays, we were still packed with so many people. Families are going out, everybody's talking, meeting up. It doesn't seem like they were worrying about the virus too much. Most people said, there's just an overreaction. Most of my guests would tell me that it's not that big of a deal. While being there, I did see more than just a few people sneezing, coughing, and let me not mention, some people would even leave the stalls, the bathroom in general, without washing their hands at all. Now that was a little crazy. They go back outside, keep on talking with whoever they were at with the table, and then as they're saying goodbye, shakes hands. So that's just adding to the fire. The day we actually closed down, because I was there basically putting all the things away, making sure, you know, we left everything clean, because, you know, we're gonna close it for about a month. They said a month and maybe more, it depends. That same day we were still getting people knocking on the door asking if we were open. I was there for about 4 hours. So in that span of 4 hours, I probably saw about like 20 plus people.
It was his last day, so since then he hasn't worked, and I think it was since last Tuesday.
Since last Tuesday, it's been a week now, and we actually went outside for the first time in a couple of days just to go buy a little extra stuff, and we noticed that there were still a lot of people outside. Yeah, and they weren't wearing any face masks. Some were wearing gloves, but a lot of people were still hanging outside, especially a group of kids. They were still going out. Some of the millennials aren't taking it seriously. They're still going out. They're still hanging out with friends. They're taking it as an extra week of spring break, which I think is insane, because I start to think, like, do they not have people at home who could possibly, you know, be at high risk? We're really worried about it because my dad has cardiovascular disease and my mom is anemic. And then your mom? My mom has diabetes, and, you know, it's been a problem ever since, for about maybe 5 years now. So I'm obviously very worried about my mom. Our parents have the underlying pre-existing health conditions, and then on top of that, their age. Hopefully a lot of people start taking it seriously, not just for your family, but also for yourself and for other people. People should be a little more considerate. Just stay home. It's honestly not that hard. Just stay home and just prevent it from it spreading even more. I'm also gonna insert a clip. We actually went to drop off a few things for his mom. Hopefully everybody takes it more serious, and not only because of all of us, also for the people who are working in the medical field, like our nurses and doctors. We don't want to overwhelm the hospital even more. People are downplaying it a lot because they're all saying that it's not going to be as bad as, you know, what people say, and then other people are saying that it's a hoax. Yeah. But I mean, nobody knows for sure because nobody's ever lived through anything like this. Exactly. It's also really annoying that there are people posting up misinformation they don't do their research on, and there's people who don't have that education and they believe in that. Some people are gullible and they think that the government started all of this, that they're just doing it to control people. Honestly, to me, that's just ridiculous. People should stop spreading those type of misinformation. So that's everything that we wanted to mention. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys our kitchen and what we bought, and hopefully it kind of gives you guys an idea of what you guys should buy. Before we show you guys what we have in our fridge, I also wanted to mention that since the restaurant closed that he works in, they did give us a lot of free food, so we didn't go out there hoarding everything and buying unnecessary things. A lot of these things were given to our fridge right now. We have a lot of vegetables up here that I'm trying to get rid of. So we have broccoli, cucumber, mushrooms, corn, lemon. That was all given to us. And then they also gave us cheesecake. We have a lot of cheesecake, which is carrot cake cheesecake and brownie cheesecake. We also bought a whole pack of eggs, and we have more things at the bottom. We have some green leaves, tomatoes, that was also gifted to us. The carrots, asparagus also gifted to us. A lot more lemons, potatoes, more asparagus, a whole bunch of green peppers, spinach, more potatoes, onions. We have Totinos. As you guys can tell, we love Totinos. You got the good stuff. We have buffalo wings, barbecue wings, just frozen chicken, frozen pizza at the bottom, frozen bananas for my shakes, frozen vegetables, frozen salmon, and then just more chicken. Just a lot of frozen stuff. I bought a whole pack of tuna for myself, and then we have a lot of cereal. We bought pancake mix, granola bars, we have nuts up there, more bags of cereal, soup, we have extra ketchup at the back, we have maseca for our tortillas, we have a whole bunch of pasta, crackers, just some
fudge mix, corn mix, oatmeal, canned beans, and jalapeno for me. I restocked on this. This is really good if your dog is having any problems with anal gland. This is really good for them. Probiotics. Highly recommend this. Theo gets diarrhea and he sometimes has bloody stool, so when that does happen, I just give him 2 of these and the next day he's perfectly fine. When we come home from walking them, we just wipe them down really quickly with the wipes. Some treats, and we bought them more shampoo because we were already running out. Detergent, Clorox, and we have another pack of noodles. We also have about 4 gallons of water. We have a bottle of hand sanitizer. This is where the front door is, and we have a container of Clorox wipes. We're saving this just in case we need to go out, if we need to go visit our parents. More shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, soap, dog food, and another pack of PP pads. So that's everything that we wanted to show you guys. We just want to say a quick thank you to all of the nurses, doctors, everybody who is risking their lives to help other people. Thank you to those who are actually listening and staying home. I hope you guys have a nice day. And do you want to say anything else?
Nothing really, but stay safe.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in my next video. Bye.